Hello and welcome to my backyard. I am going to walk through how to do the force and acceleration lab for you today. And so let's take a look at the setup. We have, as we've had before, the spark timer. Notice that I have clamped the spark timer to the corner of my table here. I have the tape going through it. I have taped it to the back of the cart so that it is pretty level as it comes out of the spark timer. I have some masses in the cart. I'm going to talk about those in just a second. The other end of the cart I have attached to a string. And if I walk back, at the other end of my table, I have a pulley that the string will go over. And at the other end of this rope, you will have your hanging weight. Okay, I'm not going to hang it there just yet because it will cause the cart to move. But this is the setup that you need to have. So let's take a look at this one more time. Okay, so again, we have at that end, we have the hanging weight attached to the string that goes over the pulley that's attached to the rope that goes over to the cart, which is being held by my daughter's hand, which in the cart has our masses, and on the other side of the cart we have our ticker tape. Okay, you are each going to start with a different distribution of masses. I have put on the instruction sheet for this lab your range of masses. So the smallest is going to have a total of 90 grams, which is what I'm showing right here. And each of these little masses is 20 grams. And then, so we have two of them here and one more, and then the 50 grams hanging on the other end. Okay, so let's run through a trial of this. So Naomi is going to press the spark. Okay. And you notice what happens is that it goes a little bit crazy there. So you have to be careful about this and what happens. Once we have that data set up, you're going to have a piece of tape like this, as we did before. Okay. Now, a few things you have to do with the tape. This is the front end of the tape that was attached to the cart. Notice that I have marked it a few ways. Number one, I have marked it by how much mass was hanging. It's super important that you do this. Number two, I have marked it where I can clearly see that's a good starting point. Yeah, those are okay as well, but I'd rather go a little bit further up, and I've marked that as A as being the beginning. I made a mistake further on with the other one. Then I went down my tape some more, and I noticed that down here I have point B. Point B is where the spaces between the dots is starting to decrease. So in other words, the space between this dot and the next dot is a little bit smaller than the space between this one and B. Okay, but between B and the one after it, it actually starts to get a little bit smaller. So I'm not going to use those. So I now have my data piece, and if I come back, you can still see that it goes from A to B. There is still data past point B. I'm going to ignore that. Okay, what you are going to do is you're going to do a run like this, where you have the minimum amount hanging, and then you're going to, the next data you're going to set it up again, but this time you're going to take another amount of weight out of your car, and it's up to you to determine how much, and you're going to place it onto your hanging mass. Okay, so now I have, in this particular case, I have 70 grams hanging and only 20 grams in the cart. Okay, so that when we redo the experiment again, which I'm not going to show you, but if I were to redo the experiment, we now have more mass hanging. We have the same setup, but now in the cart we have less mass. Okay? The key here is to make sure that the total mass is the same for the entire time. Total mass meaning the mass in the cart, the mass of the cart, and the hanging mass all together. How to get the mass of the cart is a good question, and I will show you. What you're going to do is you are going to take one of your spring scales, and before you have all of this stuff attached to your cart, you are going to simply hang it on the spring scale. Okay? And then you can get a measurement from the gram side as to how much the mass is. The rest of the information about what to do with this we will discuss in class on Tuesday. Please read the directions carefully for this lab because I'm giving you the directions for this one rather than you figuring it out. And we do need to have this data uploaded to Blackboard in a particular format before class on Tuesday so I can tell you what to do with that. So good luck and have fun playing with cars. Bye.